non-Tamil people can afford to learn at least Vanakkam. So, all the student folk, Vanakkam. Okay, you have not brought down the building, so it means that you are not very audible. Thanks a lot, CMC, for inviting me. It has been a long dream for me because I so much wanted to be not an audience, not a part of the audience. I so much wanted to study here as a student. But unfortunately, way back in 1974, when I was such a die-hard fan of my biology ma'am, and of course stayed first in biology, but yet could not have an access into this, plainly because of the family condition. And that's exactly why when two of the students introduced themselves as government school students, I do not know how many of you saw me, I just clapped very silently because it's extremely difficult. It's extremely difficult. It was difficult, and I'm sad that it is difficult even now. But nonetheless, congratulations for having come into Coimbatore Medical College. Before I leave, I have a very specific question which is very relevant in Coimbatore for the students who are now in the first year. Maybe if any one of you could answer the question, and I'm happy that we have Professor of Anesthesia also here, and I'm extremely happy about it. I think she should be down there. I'll come back to the question. But now, to start with, once again, congratulations. You are here because you wanted to be here, and the countdown has started. This is day 1, and after 5 years, it's time you started visualizing where exactly you will be, what you will be, how you will be. The countdown has started because there is nothing else for us to dream of. It's time for us to realize our dream, and that's exactly it is. I was listening to every one of you as you introduced yourself. I could hear somebody coming from Rajasthan, if I heard you right. Fine. Couple of people from Kanyakumari, couple of people from Nagarkoil. Lots of people from one specific school, which I did visit a year back. And lots of children from, of course, Coimbatore, in and around Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu, and a huge bunch from, of course, Kerala as far as Talisheri also. I did listen to you all. Maybe my ears were turning left, right and center, listening to every one of you introducing yourself. I was very worried about the English part of it also, because I wanted to know whether you are comfortable with English, and English is equally comfortable with you. That's exactly, we may feel very comfortable with English, but English may feel extremely uncomfortable with us. So you have to have your soft skills, you have to have your communicative skills. But before starting all these, as an outsider, as an ordinary person on the road, or as a teacher, as a human being, as sometimes a patient who visits doctors, the first question is, how many of us are familiar with the oath of Hippocrates? How many of us again and again get back to it? If that is the case, I think the complete oath is based on just 4 basic principles, which holds good for a doctor, which holds good for an engineer, which holds good for a teacher, which holds good for everybody else. It need not be the prerogative of a doctor alone. It holds good for every one of us. And the first one happens to be, you all may be familiar as students of medicine, anatomy. But Hippocrates does not make a mention of anatomy first. He talks about autonomy. If you just rearrange the spelling, autonomy can become anatomy. It's so strange that children who have to start it in the anatomy lab have to listen to somebody talking about autonomy on the first day. So what do you mean by autonomy? It's not just the doctor's free will. It's not just the doctor's knowledge. It's not just the doctor's sense, common sense. More than that, that autonomy refers to a patient who owns the body. So the first business of a doctor is to accommodate, understand the psychology that operates behind a patient's body. I'm not talking about brain, I'm not talking about mind. I personally feel that my body has got not me. Like it may be my pen, but it's not me. It may be my hand, it's not me. It may be my dress, it's not me. So my body may be mine, but it's not me. Something more than the body is also inside that, and that's exactly what is referred to by autonomy. As a doctor, as a medical ethic to be practiced, the first thing to accept is a person who is sitting before you may be a patient, or maybe just another patient. But there is something operating behind that body that happens to be the psychology, the autonomy of a person. And that has to be honored, that has to be respected, and that has to be taken into consideration as the first medical ethic. Maybe that's my contribution to you to start your day with. And the second one happens to be beneficence. Now what do I mean by beneficence? Like conscience, almost always a wrongly spelled word. Beneficence, which just means goodness. Whose goodness? Again, the concern is for the goodness of the patient who is seated in front of you, or the people who are surrounding the patient, the caretakers, because it starts with, that's exactly, you have to comfort a person, you have to cure a person, and you have to care for a person. You start with care, then you go on to comfort, and then you cure, or you start with cure, then you go for comfort, and then you continue it with care. However, you want to juggle it. So beneficence is something which gives you a sense of well-being. Maybe as a doctor you may not have time, you may not have even the inclination to smile at a patient. I do not know, but as a patient, a warm smile from my doctor has always been an endearing gift which I carry along with me. I may be a bundle of complaints, I may be a bundle of pain, but as an ordinary human being, I approach your chamber with so much of trust. I know I may be the 25th patient or the 200th patient for you, and every day in and day out you have been looking at people who are unwell, who are sick, emotionally, physically, and everything. Even then, sparing a smile goes a long, long way in the curative process. In spite of the fact you're tired, you're beaten, I'm sorry. I understand, but even then, a warm smile from my doctor does the job. I'm cured almost 90%, and few more words, 10%, rest of the 10% is also cured. And I personally believe popping in a pill is after all a myth if my doctor himself or herself becomes a medicine. So I start with autonomy, move on to beneficence, and the next one is non-maleficence. And if you go into the Latin form of it, it just says primum nocere. Let there not be any harm. You need not cure a person, but see to that your policy is not to add on to the pain and intensify the harm. How many of us take it into heart? That's exactly why I said this is not for you alone. It's for me as a teacher. When I greet my student with my smile, half ignorance is completely lost. And my teaching cures the rest of the ignorance. And a lifelong friendship with the student sees to that the child does not get into the way of ignorance. So it holds good with an engineer. It holds with every human being, and for a doctor who has to treat the mind and body. Non-maleficence becomes something very, very important. Let not there be any harm done in the way of treatment. Again, I am approaching the whole audience, the future doctors, as an ordinary person on the road. The last one, the fourth one, is justice. Maybe the reason for my clapping once again. When I understand that two students have come from government school, from higher secondary, we talk about social justice. We talk about economic justice. We talk about emotional justice. We talk about individual justice and social justice. What I can afford as a person who can buy a particular treatment may not be affordable to other people. It may not be affordable to ordinary person on the road. That's exactly why entering into a college run by the government is such a huge honor for me, even at least not as a student but at least as a speaker. Because that exactly is democracy. What is affordable for only a very few becomes a matter of affordability for many. If you can take it along with you, social justice, then it becomes a matter of big honor. So a quick action replay of just these four. One is autonomy, where you are a free will, independent person with common sense. You will convince but never force your patient to take up something. You talk about the beneficence, the goodness that will happen to the patient, and not maleficence, certainly not when your conscience will be asking your question, especially when it comes to questions of euthanasia, whether it could be administered or not. It is legally not accepted, but even to administer it on an animal which trusts you so much, though we say we relieve it of a pain, we do not know how correct it is. So there is no emotional justice, and the fourth one happens to be justice. These are the four mighty pillars which you will take along with you as you carry on. I'm just dividing my talk into three components. And the second one is your communication skills. It need not be in English. It can be in your mother tongue, it can be in other tongue. The only thing is I was listening to most of you as you were introducing. Just few of you said, "Good morning, everyone." And I just waited very eagerly for the school from which that particular student has come. Because this goes with schooling, it goes with your grooming. Some of you I know were extremely nervous. Even I am nervous because the temperature there is different from the temperature here. And courage is not the absence of fear, courage is controlled fear. Thanks a lot for the podium, or else people can shake. See people shaking here, right? But coming back again, when you were introducing yourself, I was listening to the school from where you came, how you greeted the audience, how your voice was, how comfortable you were with your voice, you were with the mic, and you were with the people who were looking at you and who were not looking at you, right? How comfortable you were. And as I was thinking of it, I thought I have to make a mention about your communicative skills. It's just not your verbal communication. It is your non-verbal communication also. As a teacher, I listen more with my eyes. Please take care of my words. I don't listen with my ears. I said I listen more with my eyes, less with my ears, because the body language of my students would speak volumes about their comfort and discomfort. It would speak volumes about their preparedness in my class and their total unpreparedness for any class. Their physical presence would always tell me, their body language will always tell me, the eye contact will always tell me, the even, free, easy breath will always tell me, they are fidgeting with their button or with their fingers would always tell me whether they are nervous or comfortable in my class. So if a teacher has to listen to the body language of the students, it becomes mandatory for a doctor also to listen, not with a stethoscope, but with your eyes to the heartbeat. You need not use a stethoscope or feel the pulse of a person. But just a mere glance at the person will make you understand how uncomfortable the patient is, and it becomes your prerogative. As I said earlier, the autonomy has to be respected. Now the communicative skills improves when you stay closer to literature. And thanks a lot to Dr. Geetanjali, who was telling me that she wanted to join literature, and her father told her, if ever you go near literature, you would never come back to medicine. Right? Maybe that's very, very true. People who wanted to take medicine, I landed with literature. They are so closely related to each other because both talk about human psyche. And she moved away from literature so that she can be here as a faculty. I would like to make a mention, I do not know whether your library is equipped with literary books. And I do not know whether you have time to spare, because all of us say you don't have time. But don't worry, we all have 24 hours. Mother Teresa had 24 hours, Mahatma Gandhi had 24 hours, right? It's how exactly do you make use of it, or how exactly do you misuse it or abuse it. Now I'd like to make a mention of a couple of people who were doctors themselves and also were You can talk about Arthur Conan Doyle, who was the creator of Sherlock Holmes, right? Because he was a doctor, he was able to understand, observe the body language. When other people just look at a person, a doctor observes a person. These two are totally different. And you have A.J. Cronin, you have Anton Chekhov, and a person whom you have to know, Robin Cook. If at all you have read the beautiful novel Coma, and then went on to see the movie, you will understand what could be done with the body. Now I'd like to tell you a very beautiful story written by A.J. Cronin, who himself was a doctor, which of course drives home the last point I made of the four aspects of Hippocrates' oath. The fourth one, justice. The title, it is available, the short story is available in your net, and the title is The Best Investment I Ever Made. Maybe the word investment is certainly not applicable in an audience like you. It has to be in a College of Managerial Sciences. But again, investment does not talk about only monetary dividends. Many other things are investment, as your parents have invested their dreams on you. Your teachers invest their aspirations on you. And you invest your own future on yourself. So you are your own investment. This particular story, The Best Investment I Ever Made, talks about a doctor. It's an autobiographical story. So A.J. Cronin himself is the narrator and the writer. A.J. Cronin talks about how he is plus 15 now, and he takes a voyage in an ocean liner. He travels from England to US, and he has already decided not to make himself familiar with anybody. He has decided not to mention that he is a doctor, because during a travel or a voyage, when you introduce to someone that you are a medical doctor, that's why when somebody calls us doctor, I immediately correct the person, I'm an academic doctor, not a medical doctor, please. And I should not be using even that surname doctor when I fill up reservation forms. If anything happens to somebody, people should not run up to me for treatment. So here, A.J. Cronin has decided not to mention to anyone that he is a doctor, plainly because the moment people know that you are a medical doctor, everyone will crowd around you with their own pet imaginary complaints, and free of cost, they would like to have consultation. And your peace of mind will be disturbed. So A.J. Cronin decides not ever to mention that he is a doctor to anyone. The travel goes on. He is on a deck chair enjoying the beautiful sea breeze, peace of mind. And the first day is done, second day is done, third day is done. The trip is coming to a close, but he is very, very disturbed by the continuous stare of two people right in front of him, again on the deck chair. Husband and wife, a couple, happen to be seated. And the man, he keeps on looking at our author, and A.J. Cronin feels really unnerved because this is pretty disturbing. Somebody keeps on looking at you. And there is a huge question mark on his face. It just asks a question. Don't you recognize me? Don't you understand? Don't you know who I am? Don't you recollect me? But A.J. Cronin has decided not to recollect anybody, just to enjoy his peace in the travel. The last day, and the person who keeps on looking at him happens to be in his middle 40s. And his wife, who is of his same age, nudges him now, elbows him, looking as if you're not going to talk with the doctor, then you will miss a chance of talking with him forever, because tomorrow morning you will be landing. That's all. So very hesitantly, these two approach the doctor, and the doctor gets ready. Okay? And this man comes and occupies a chair near the doctor. The doctor is 50 plus and the man should be in his middle 40s. And the man just asks the doctor, don't you remember me? Now this is a question the doctor expected to be asked. And the doctor says, I'm sorry. A.J. Cronin says, no, I don't remember you. Then the man put his hand on the doctor's lap and helps the doctor to recollect. Right? So, it almost becomes a kind of, in Tamil we say, Malarunni Neivugal. It's a flashback. And the doctor recollects when he was, now he's maybe 53, some 20, 25 years back. He had just then graduated from the medical college. And the situation is in London. It's a thick of winter, maybe November or December. It's raining, damp and chill. And the doctor is occupying one of the very small, dingy, dirty rooms because he's yet to start his practice. He has not yet started. and his economical condition is pretty pathetic. So anybody who comes asking for a medical treatment at any point of time, even the oddest hour, is fine with him. Even if it happens to be midnight, it's okay with him because he is really in need of money. And in the diggy hole, midnight, there is a knock at the door. And the doctor goes, opens the door, expecting a patient or somebody who is an attendant to the patient. But whom he sees there is a police personnel. It's a constable. You know, he just moves closer to AJ Chronic, the doctor, the young doctor. I don't even call him fresh, a raw doctor. Fresh is different from raw, right? So he's yet to start his practice. And the constable comes closer to him and says, your help is needed. Immediately, there is an urgent case. The doctor immediately collects his bag and rushes along. And they go through very, very narrow, damp, dingy pathways. And they reach at a particular place and they start climbing on the creaky staircase, the wooden staircase. And as the doctor approaches the landing, he could get the smell of toxic gas. The doctor could get the smell of toxic gas, and there he finds an elderly woman standing, and she just puts out a finger to an almost dead boy lying down on a bench. The doctor immediately starts with his work. First aid has to be given. He almost looks lifeless, and as the story goes on, the doctor has to help to resuscitate the person. And after 40 minutes of extremely rigorous help given by the doctor, the treatment given by the doctor almost thinks that this is a gone case and he may not be able to. As he is trying to resuscitate that little boy, maybe the boy is around 18 or 19, hardly some 6 or 7 years younger to the doctor. As the doctor tries desperately to resuscitate, the landlady, the lady who has given this little boy, when I say little boy, maybe of your age, 17 or 18 of age, when she has rented an attic there for him. She keeps on narrating who exactly the boy is. After 45 minutes, with a gasp of breath, the boy is brought back to life and the doctor is extremely thankful that it's not futile. After 5 or 10 minutes, the boy gets up. They help him to get back his breath. He leans on the wall. Now you have 3 people as witness. One happens to be the landlady who gave away the apartment as rent. It's not even an apartment, it's an attic. Right? Second one is a police constable who was summoned by the lady when she thought that the boy has attempted suicide. And the third one is a doctor who resuscitated, that is AJ Cronin. And now what happens? All the 3 gather around him and the doctor asks him, why did he take such a fatal move? The boy bursts into tears and tells the doctor how he comes from a village and he does not have father or mother. And he has been sent to his uncle who looks at him as an unnecessary responsibility, a burden responsibility. So what does the uncle do? The uncle sends him to a solicitor, a lawyer, so that the boy can start practicing there and in future, maybe after 5 or 6 years, he can start living on his own. The boy goes there, and we all know when you move from village to town, something happens. Maybe this is yet another precaution as a teacher telling you, be very, very careful of what exactly you are doing, where you will be. That's why I asked you the question, after 5 years, where will you be, what will you be, how will you be, and why will you be there? Right? This particular boy, he falls in the hands of unwanted friendship, within quotation, bad company, and starts betting on horses. He starts betting on horses, thinking that that would fetch him easy money. He has lost what little money he had, and what does he do? He steals away, he takes away some amount from the office of his boss. You know how much he has taken? He has just taken 7 pounds and 10 shillings, thinking that he can again invest on the horse race, and once he wins, he can always replace it. But unfortunately, the boy again loses, and he's so scared, without any good company, without anybody to lean on, without any shoulder to cry on, without anybody who can understand him and give him a helping hand. The boy feels extremely lonely, and what does he do? He takes this move burner so that he can kill himself and escape from problem. We have been hearing to this, even yesterday we heard this. Multi-millionaires, people who have such a huge business, move towards something where the challenge of life is very big. Now what happens? 3 people make investment. First one is the landlady. She tells a boy, don't worry, you need not pay me any rent until you start earning. That is one investment. Second one is a police constable. And he makes a huge risk. He says, I will not record this case. Right? It's a huge risk. A police constable has got no right to do it. But the boy looks so pathetic. He looks so helpless. He looks so beaten that the police constable says, it's okay. Even if it is not okay, it's okay. I'm not going to register the case. And Dr. A.J. Cronin, he is the third person to make the investment. You know what he does? He pulls out from his wallet 7 pounds and 10 shillings, gives it back to the boy. Actually, it's the doctor who has to get the fee. But it's the doctor who gives the money to the boy and tells him, go replace it. That's all. After which, the doctor has comfortably forgotten. And the man who has been, after 25 years, traveling along with the doctor, sitting at a deck chair, staring at the doctor, is that person to whom the doctor gave 7 pounds and 10 shillings. The man comes and holds the doctor. Along with his wife, he says, you know, now I have become a practitioner of law. What you have done, you have saved my life. And what do I do now? Whenever some child comes out of the juvenile home, we all know what is the juvenile home. Anybody who is under 18, when you commit a crime, you are sent to the juvenile home. If anybody goes to the juvenile home, when they come out, the crowd does not accept, the society does not accept. So what does this person do? Who has borrowed 7 pounds and 10 shillings from the doctor? He has made it an investment, and whichever child, a teenager who comes out of a juvenile home, this particular man, who is Mr. John, puts out his hand, holds a boy, and takes him to the mainstream, helps him to join everyone. The doctor is so happy now that what looked like a little quantity of money, little sum of money, is a huge investment. He turns around, and we are reading the whole story. He turns around and tells us, as a doctor for so many years, I have invested on various things, even money. I have lost in many cases. I have gained in very few cases. But I do not know that little money which I invested on an individual some 25 years back has come back with a huge dividend, where the man who has been saved is saving the life of hundreds and hundreds of youngsters who just go away from the right path. Now I am bringing it back to you. You will have to make an investment at some point of life in your life. Somewhere, a village child, a little boy or a girl or somebody who has completely lost the way, fallen from grace, does not have any friend, does not have anybody to support. That boy may come to you as a patient, or you may be asked to treat on that child. Please be as merciful as possible, because you may be saving somebody who may become the savior of the society at some point of time. So let there be some kind of the best investment like A.J. Cronin in your life also. Thank you ever so much. Always be alert. Always be empathetic. That's one word. Step into the shoes of your patient and look from the patient's point of view. How exactly the patient looks at the world. And maybe we are all patients who are extremely impatient, not inpatient but impatient, and you may have to be a doctor with loads of patients. All the very best. Welcome to the field of medical science. Good luck. Thank you.